Alright, how's everybody doing? We're gonna get towards a serious live stream today. So this one is gonna be a little bit different. Now, I think we did this last Saturday, but we had some stream issues. We had some internet connections issues. So, we're gonna try again today, but we're gonna get through everything. So, if anything goes wrong, we're gonna stop and then we're gonna try again tomorrow. So, we'll try again another day. Now, today's a Tuesday night, so I assume not many people are going to be watching, but this will be available for playback eventually when this ends. Caption accessibility is also available, however, it's not scripted, so it's not going to be accurate, but it's auto-generated, so what can I say? Welcome, you may say hello in the live chat if you are in here. So here's the chapters we'll be going through. By the way, I will not be reading the chat while this presentation is occurring, so don't think I'm ignoring you. We're going to get through a few things. First, we're going to get through the timeline, introduction to rush routes, and new routings. Now, if you do miss something, you can obviously rewind back. You don't have to watch the entire live stream, which will probably be a 1.5 hour. So, you don't have to watch the entire thing. If you just want to wait for your bus line to arrive, you'll probably get there eventually. So, I've literally read this part like 5 million times, so I'm just gonna reread this. So basically, the new draft plan released last Wednesday was gave out by customer feedback, and then with the amount of concerns, they want to focus on subway connections, schedule proposals, and bus stop spacing. So basically, this started in April 2019, and here we are right now, March 2022, when the new Queen's new draft plan released. Let's go through rush routes. I've literally read through this 5 million times, so I'm just gonna skim through it. So basically, go to outer borough neighborhoods and skip as fast as possible into the subway. They will be shown in a purple color. So the new Queen's bus map is gonna be different. There's gonna be 4 different colors representing the 4 different types of routes. Wait, no, there's 5. Never mind, 5. Actually no, 4, because express routes aren't going to be. I think express routes are going to be in a separate map. I'm pretty sure. If express routes are going to be in the Queen's bus map, then it's 5. If not, it's going to be 4. So basically, we're going to have select bus or crosstown routes, local, limited, and rush routes. I believe those are the 4. Where is it? Oh, here it is. So because of timing, we're going to get straight to the routings. So here are the new proposed routes. I actually did write the Q86 there. I don't know why it didn't show up. But, hey, listen, I'm not actually working for business, so there's probably going to be errors here. So, first we have the Q14, the Q20, the Q45, the Q48, which is a different one, Q51, Q57, Q63, Q68, Q73, Q75, Q80, Q78, Q82, Q86, Q98, which could possibly be an SBS route, Q105, Q109, Q115, and B53. So here are the routes that do not change the current routing. Q1, sort of, except, actually no, I don't think the Q1 should be there because the Queen's Village isn't there. Q2, Q3, which goes back to Terminal 5 in 2026. Q4 with an extension, Q9 with an extension, Q28, Q32, Q33, Q42 with an extension, Q43 with an extension, Q50 limited or SBS with an extension, Q52 SBS with an extension, Q55 with an extension, Q56, Q60, Q70 SBS LaGuardia Link, Q84 Limited routing does not change. The local routing on Archer Avenue is discontinued. I believe also the Q4 as well. The Q104 with an extension to Roosevelt Island, and Q111. So let's start with the Q1. Its Queens Village and Jamaica Avenue branch is discontinued and is replaced by the Q26 or Q78 along Springfield Boulevard and the proposed Q57 along Jamaica Avenue. So it's going to be a combination of the Q1 and Q6, starting at Bellerose and ending at S Cargo Road via 165th Street Terminal. End Boundary Road will be replaced by the proposed Q7, but it's not going to terminate there. Also, it's probably going to be Queens Village or Jamaica Techno, which is another YouTuber. I assume you've heard of him. It says JFK. It's going to be an MTA bus company route. Not sure though. Q2 remains as its regular route. However, it's going to be one of the new rush routes. No stops will be in place between 187th Place and 165th Street on Hillside Avenue, except for stops at 169th Street and 179th Streets for the F station. For Hillside Avenue local, take the Q1. Obviously, it's probably going to stay at Queens Village. Still UBS Arena and 165th Street Terminal. The Q3 remains at the same routing, however, since March 27th, buses were rerouted to Lefferts AirTrain Station because of JFK redevelopment until 2026. Buses make a stop at Terminal 8 for a free transfer to Terminal 5 via AirTrain. This is happening as we speak right now. The Q4 is extending to Elmont, Nassau County for better connection to nice buses. Elmont bound trip's last stop is Linden Boulevard and Elmont Road. This route is also another rush route. No stops will be made on Merrick Boulevard between Liberty Avenue and Linden Boulevard. It's most likely going to stay at Jamaica because it passes by Jamaica Depot. The Q5 is a combination of the Q5 and Q85, sort of, not really. It runs on Merrick Boulevard, then down south Brookville Boulevard, then 243rd Street and Huxley Street onto Q85. I believe it's also extended a little bit to 149th Avenue. I believe the Q85 doesn't go there that far. No stops will be made on Merrick Boulevard between Liberty Avenue and Springfield Boulevard. However, a stop on Linden Boulevard. If you need local service, I don't know if there's going to be local service. I didn't check the stops. I didn't check the stops. Take the Q25 for Merrick Boulevard local. The Q6 is discontinued. Service will be replaced by the Q1 and Q7. So, Cypress Hills and Cedarhurst. The Sutter Avenue, Pitkin Avenue, and Euclid Avenue segments of the Q7 is replaced by the proposed Q109. And for anybody wondering, yes, all these slides I made myself, so hard work was put in here. And it took less than a week, so you're welcome for these 116 slides. The proposed Q7 is to continue west on Rockaway Boulevard to connect with the 75th Street Eldridge Lane JZ station for S Cargo Road service. Take the proposed Q1. Prediction, probably going to stay at JFK Depot. Q8 will not serve Gateway Mall, but will continue west into Brooklyn and serve the New Lots Avenue 3 station, but will be discussed in the Brooklyn Bus Redesign Draft Plan. Now, this change will most likely not take effect when the Queens Bus Redesign takes effect. The Q9 no longer terminates at Rockaway Boulevard. Instead, travels south 130th Street to 135th Avenue to replace missing Q10 local. Now, there's a discontinued section, but that's the place where it lays over. So, technically, it's not a discontinued area, but whatever you say, guys. JFK Depot, probably gonna stay there. Now, what is this Q10 local missing? So basically, Q10 has extended north to make up for the loss of the Q64, which will no longer be running, and will end at Lefferts Air Train Station because of JFK redevelopment until 2026. Service on Pan Am Road is replaced by the Q3 and 130th Street of the Q9. Remain at JFK Depot because there's no other depot that has articulated buses. I don't think Q10 fully has Arctics anyways, so I think they sometimes use the next gens. That's gonna be so weird if that happens, because then they're gonna have diesel buses, they're gonna have the LFS diesels. I think they're getting the LFS diesels, by the way. I think. Yeah, they're getting them. I think they'll come in, like, summer or fall of 2022. Or probably winter, possibly. So, let's get back to topic. Q11 service on Woodhaven Boulevard and Cross Bay Boulevard is discontinued. Q11 will operate in a new section in Ozone Park and either travel to Old Howard Beach or Hamilton Beach. I always get these two beaches confused, but I know where Howard Beach is. Howard Beach is Q21. So, just for clarification, the Q12 and Q13 are swapped. So, west of 165th Street, the Q13 runs on Sanford Avenue and the Q12 runs on Northern Boulevard. Now, I don't know why the explanation is. I don't know what the explanation is, but I guess it's because there's a rush route on Northern Boulevard, which is the Q28, and I believe the Q62. There's no need for duplication, and then there's also a local Q65 on Sanford Avenue with a Q13 rush route. It kind of makes sense. The Q12 Flushing Terminal has been moved to Main Street and Sanford Avenue. The Q12 and Q13 routes, as I said earlier, are swapped west of 165th Street. So, Q13 is a rush route. So, stops will be made on Northern Boulevard and Clearview Expressway, Northern Boulevard and Francis Lewis Boulevard, Northern Boulevard and Utopia Parkway, Sanford Avenue and 162nd Street, Sanford Avenue, I believe that's 149th or 150th Street, Sanford Avenue and Parsons Boulevard, and Main Street or Roosevelt Avenue and Union Street. The Q13 Flushing Terminal has been moved to Roosevelt Avenue and Union Street, which is not that far from the original one. The Q14 is a new route which will operate between East Elmhurst and Fresh Pond. It's the northern branch of the Q23 and the Elliott branch of the Q38. The route is a great connection to the Fresh Pond Road M station. Now, why is there a Q14 or a new route serving Elliott Avenue? That's because the Q38 only serves Penelope Avenue now, which we'll discuss in a bit. Predictions, I believe it's going to be LaGuardia Depot or College Point Depot, assuming College Point has Q23 and Q38. The Q15 and Q15A are discontinued. Service will be replaced by the proposed Q19 and Q20. Stick around, we're going to talk about that in a bit. By the way, no, this Q14, no, it's not the original Stengel Q15A. The Q16 is discontinued east of Francis Lewis Boulevard. Use rush routes Q61 and Q62. We'll discuss in a few minutes. That's probably going to take like 10 or so. So if you need to wait for that, then wait. Service is also extended to the Flushing Meadows Corona Park to avoid quote, the need to lay over in congested Flushing and provide local service to that area. That's what the document says. I did not say that. The Q17 is extended to College Point to provide service for the Q25. Uh, if you haven't noticed, it's not turning on 23rd Avenue instead of 20th Avenue. I guess it's because of narrow roads or to revive a short part of the Q28. Q17 is also a rush route. No stops will be on Linden Place between 28th Avenue and Main Street and Northern Boulevard. Also on Casino Boulevard between Horace Harding Expressway and Sanford Avenue. The Q17 is cut short and does not go to Jamaica. That will be replaced by the proposed Q75. Now, my prediction is probably Casey Stengel because Jamaica Depot seems too far from the College Point terminal, but I could be wrong. Q18 remains with most of its routing, however a left-right section in MassPac is discontinued to improve speeds. Involves 50th, 53rd, J, and Grand Avenues, and 69th Street. Q18 buses will terminate and lay over on Borden Avenue or the Queens Midtown Expressway Service Road, as shown here. Predictions, gonna stay at LaGuardia. The Q19 is extended to Whitestone to replace parts of the Q15 and Q15A. Whitestone-bound buses follow Q19 routing, head south on 108th Street, east on Roosevelt Avenue, north on 150th Street, and east on 7th Avenue. For service in original Flushing routing, use the nearby Q50 Limited or Select bus, or Q66. My prediction will still be College Point. I feel like this route is a little bit longer because it starts at 2nd Street, but it doesn't really count as 2nd Street because near the Rikers Island and Astoria Heights, it jumps from 77th Street to 47th, I believe. So, or 40th. So technically, it would end at... Technically, that Astoria area is about 40th Street. So that means the Q19 goes about 100 blocks. Like, up here, like, from, like, over 100 blocks. Because you're at 40th Street, and then you're at 150th Street, and then you keep going to Whitestone. That's actually a pretty long route. I honestly have no idea who that's going to take. Because you have, it either is going to be like, can't be Stengel. Could be. Maybe they have a, I think Flushing is at the middle, so they could do like a short turn if they wanted to. So, they could do like in the middle. Yeah, Flushing's at the middle. They can have like rush during like at 6 a.m. or something. They can have routes terminate at Flushing since it's kind of at the middle. But to be honest with you, this Q19 is a long route. This Q19 is a very long route. Honestly. Alright, Q20 is discontinued. Not Q20, but the Q20A and B. The Q20 will run via Q34 Mitchell Gardens, while Q44 Select Bus runs on Union Street. That's clarified, by the way. For 14th Avenue, use the Q31. For 20th Avenue, use the Q76. Use Q44 SBS for Union Street and Jamaica. And here's the routing for the Q20. It basically goes on Cross Island Parkway Service Road, then onto and follows via Q15 routing to Beechhurst. The Q21 is extending north via Q29 routing to Jackson Heights 82nd Street station for the 7. This provides a great connection to subway, and revives the, I guess you can say Hamptons or something. The school tripper at Rockaway Park may or may not run. If you guys don't know, there's a school tripper. The Q21 goes to a school in Rockaway Park. I forget what it's called. But at like the 3 p.m. hour, it runs to Elmhurst. I don't know if that's gonna run. I have no idea. Probably not. The Q21 still serves Lindenwood. However, a small portion involving 157th Avenues and 160th Avenue is discontinued. Now, my prediction is most likely LaGuardia, since LaGuardia is closer than Far Rockaway now, but it could possibly stay at JFK and Far Rockaway. I still don't get that. I think the rotation process with JFK and Far Rockaway is so confusing. Anyways, the Q22 is shortened to Rockaway Park, and its western section used the Q35. However, it will extend to the Five Town Shopping Center to make up for the loss of the old Q114, which will now run on Mott Avenue and Rockaway Turnpike. Yep. The Q23 area involving 102nd, 103rd, and 104th Streets will be replaced by the proposed Q14. You may rewind this live stream to see the proposal if you haven't already. Q23 will continue on 108th Street to reduce the amount of turns, and instead will continue east on Union Turnpike to Fresh Meadows 188th Street. The Crescent Apartment section of Forest Hill is replaced by the proposed Q73, sorry, I lost my mind. So the Q24 is cut short at Broadway Junction. However, the proposed B53 will replace and provide service on Lafayette Avenue. A small section of Jamaica will be discontinued, I guess to avoid bus-on-bus congestion. This will replace by the Q42 with the Jamaica Hospital. We'll discuss in a bit. Probably going to stay at East New York. The Q25 is cut short to 28th Avenue and Linden Place, which is the College Point Depot. Service north of 28th Avenue is replaced by the Q17. However, instead of turning on 23rd Avenue, the Q17 will turn on 20th Avenue. The route is extended to Springfield Boulevard instead of serving Jamaica LIRR Station AirTrain, as Q4, Q5, Q85, and Q86 are rush routes. So this will either be College Point Depot or Baisley Park. I don't know. I think I'm on to something. I don't know. Q26. Most of the routing remains the same, except a part on Bone Street and Roosevelt Avenue. Instead, via Q27 on Casino Boulevard. This is also a rush route. It will not make any stops between Main Street and Roosevelt Avenue and Hollis Court Boulevard and 190th Street. However, it will make stops at Casino Boulevard and Sanford Avenue, 46th Avenue, at 149th, 162nd, or some people like to call it Pigeon Meadow Road, Utopia Parkway, and the route also extends south on Francis Lewis Boulevard, east on 73rd Avenue to make up for the loss of Q88. This prediction will most likely be Queens Village or Casey Stengel Flushing Depot. I think it's still going to be Queens Village, most likely. So the Q27 is extending to College Point to make up for the loss of Q65. However, a short portion in Flushing involving Holly Avenue, 39th Avenue, and 138th Street is discontinued. Buses will run on Sanford Avenue and Parsons Boulevard via Q26. The new area has been, quote, new area. And the Q27 extends east to 230th Street and 69th Avenue. And no, I wasn't saying that for a joke. Service south of 69th Avenue is replaced by the Q26. Now, I think this is going to be Casey Stengel Flushing Depot. The Q28 routing will not change. However, it's one of the new rush routes. Our stop remains at Northern Boulevard and 150th Street. The Q29 is discontinued. It will be replaced by the Q21 and I also believe the Q80 or a different route. I don't remember. Or possibly the yeah, I don't remember, honestly. I didn't script this. Actually, I did. The Q30 is discontinued. Service will be replaced by the proposed Q31, Q75, and Q88. Jamaica Q31 service on Rocky Hill Road, 48th Avenue, Bell Boulevard, 32nd Avenue, and 35th Avenue is replaced and by the proposed Q13, Q27, Q28, and Q78 routes. It will continue north on Utopia Parkway, west on 14th Avenue via Cross Island Parkway, and Q20B service. Predictions still going to stay at Stingle and Flushing Depot. The Q32 routing remains the same because it provides a great connection between Queens and Manhattan. The Q33 routing remains the same. The Q34 routing will be discontinued. The Q34 route will be discontinued. Service will be replaced by the Q20, Q25, and Q61. The Q35 routing service remains the same in Brooklyn. However, instead of running along Newport Avenue, buses will run on Rockaway Beach Boulevard in both directions to make up for the loss of the Q22. Now, big opinion here. I think one direction should go down Newport Avenue, one direction should go down Rockaway Beach Boulevard. That's my big opinion. I think they should do that. The Q36 is discontinued. Service will be replaced by the Q45, Q57, and Q82. The Q37 routing will change a bit. Instead of running along 114th Street and 133rd Avenue, it will continue on Rockaway Boulevard and Lefferts Boulevard, reducing the amount of turns. It still serves Aqueduct Racetrack. The Q38 terminates at Elliott Avenue and Fresh Pond Road and 62nd Drive and 108th Street. The Elliott branch will not be running. However, it will keep, instead of making so many turns in Middle Village, it will continue on Juniper Boulevard South, then on 69th Street, and then Metropolitan Avenue. The Q39 is extending to Astoria to make up for the loss of Q103. Buses head east on Borden Avenue and Queens Midtown Expressway Service Road. Service south of Borden Avenue is replaced by the proposed Q67. Now, because of narrow 142nd Street, southbound buses go down 143rd Street. That's your new extension right there. I don't know if I added that on the third or fourth slide. Probably not. The Q41 is discontinued. Service is replaced by the proposed Q21 and Q109. Q42 is going to be extending to Jamaica Hospital. And this will replace the Q24 as its main direct connection from Jamaica Avenue to the hospital and avoid terminating and laying over at downtown Jamaica. This route will also run during weekends. The Q43 maintains the same routing. In addition, extends to the Long Island Jewish Hospital with the Q46. It is a rush route. No stops will be made on Hillside Avenue between Springfield Boulevard and Homeland Street, or 169th Street. However, there are stops at 179th, Francis Lewis, and 187th Streets. Hillside Local is provided by the proposed Q1. The Q44 Select Bus Service is extending to Fordham Plaza with new stops at Bronx Park South, Crotona Parkway, East 182nd Street, and Crotona Avenue, East 184th Street, and 3rd Avenue, and East Fordham Road. This change makes the route the longest Queens route there is, with a stretch of 15.2 miles. A slight part of Jamaica will be discontinued, moved to 165th Street and Archer Avenue as the first and last stop. I have no idea where that is, to be honest with you. The Q45 is a new route and will replace the Little Neck Parkway branch of the Q36. Instead of serving 165th Street Terminal, it will serve Jamaica LIRR via the Q43. During the weekends when the Q45 does not run, you can use the Q43 on Hillside Avenue. This is also a rush route. No stops will be made on Hillside Avenue between Springfield Boulevard and Homeland Street, 169th Street, like the Q43, except 179th, 187th, and Francis Lewis. Now I combined the Q46 and Q48 in one slide because they're basically the same route. The Q46 is the Kew Gardens and Long Island Jewish Hospital branch, and the Q48 is the Kew Gardens and Glen Oaks branch. So we have both rush routes. No stops are made between Kew Gardens Union Turnpike Station and Union Turnpike and 188th Street, except stops on Utopia Parkway, 164th Street, Parsons Boulevard, and Main Street. The most likely be Queens Village. I don't think the Q48 is gonna stay at Stengel. I'm not sure though. The Q47 is going to stay the same a little bit. Never mind. So basically, for instead of going down 73rd Street, it's going to go down 75th Street to reduce the amount of turns. It will not serve 69th Street, Fisk Avenue, 7th Station. I guess to avoid congestion around Jackson Heights. It will keep going down 69th Street instead of serving Atlas Park Mall. I think that will be served by the proposed Q80. This will make up for the loss of the Q67. If you're just joining us, I combined Q46 and Q48 in one slide. If you're looking for Q48, rewind this live stream. But it is going to be discontinued. It's going to be replaced by a route we'll talk about in a few minutes. Hang tight. The Q49 routing will change slightly. Also, I just realized this. I just realized this right now. I'm reading this. It will be extended to 109th Street. I just realized that. I didn't even realize that. I just saw it like right now. I'm reading it right now. So we have it's gonna turn on 31st Avenue instead of 32nd. I guess it's because of traffic. I guess I'm not sure. The Q50 Limited or Select bus service, whatever you want to call it, will most likely turn SBS as it's shown in a dark blue color. Also, its current depot, Eastchester, is slated to get the 2022 to 23 Nova Bus LFS diesel, which has a Cuomo dark blue scheme. It will most likely have that, like the S79 SBS does. If it plans on moving depots, like LaGuardia, we'll also get that same 2022 to 23 Nova Bus LFS diesel. If it plans on moving to College Point, which will most likely not happen since they only have like 160 buses in their local, so I don't think that's gonna happen if their extension is gonna be like that. As part of the Bronx Bus Redesign final plan, which will happen in June or summer of 2022. Service to Co-op City would only be peak only, so during middays, off-peak, and weekends, it terminates at the Pelham Bay Park 6 station. The Q51, which could be possibly an SBS, is gonna be... Hold on. So the Q51 is a new route. Not sure if it's gonna be SBS, but it's colored dark blue, so possibly it could go to JFK. You know, it will run on Linden Boulevard, Cross Bay Boulevard, and Shore Parkway. Now, I don't know how long that ridership is gonna be, but they could run Arctics if they wanted to. This change extends the Q52 SBS by 1.3 miles, extending it to Jackson Heights, Roosevelt Avenue, 74th Street, Broadway, EFMR 7 station. Great connection to Jackson Heights routes and the Q70 LaGuardia Link Select bus. Now, it could stay at LaGuardia. Now, it could stay at Jamaica, JFK Depot, or it could move to LaGuardia Depot. The Q54 has a minor change involving Jamaica Avenue and 132nd Street. Other than that, there are no other changes. The Q55 is getting an extension. I don't know why it's called Juniper Boulevard South. I guess that's a mistake. Apparently, Myrtle Avenue is called that. But it's gonna extend to Jamaica 170th Street, where the Q54 and Q56 does. This is very good because I can say that the Q54 and Q55 actually connect with each other. I have no idea why the map says Juniper Boulevard South on Jamaica Avenue. You're gonna have to question them. You have to go question them, not me. Because I did not make this diagram. The Q56 remains the same, except stop removal. The Q57 is a new route combining the Q100, Q36, Q110, and Q112. Now, if it's going to be MYCT bus, it's going to be Queens Village, most likely. MTA bus is going to be Bansley Park or JFK Depot. Now, Q58 Ridgewood and Flushing. It will not serve the southern part of College Point Boulevard and Horace Harding Expressway. A section involving St. Nicholas Avenue will be discontinued, so Horace Harding Expressway will be replaced by the Q23 and the Q98 Select Bus. Q59, a little part involving Horace Harding Expressway, Junction Boulevard. It will terminate at the 63rd Drive Regal Park MR Station, not Woodhaven Boulevard Station, and Junction Boulevard. So, changes in Brooklyn, which are, instead of turning on Gardner Avenue, it will turn on Stewart Avenue. And instead of going on Union Avenue, Grand Street, Metropolitan Avenue, Kent Avenue, Width Avenues, all that, it will probably not run there. It will follow the Q54. Now, however, it will be discussed in the Brooklyn Bus Network Redesign Draft Plan, which hasn't even started. So, the Q60 routing does not change. I don't think I even put that there on my fourth draft. See, I'm not a robot. I did this myself. Okay. Q61 is a rush route and is fairly similar to the Francis Lewis Q16. What's it called? It will terminate at the current Q13, Q16, and Q28 terminal, which is 39th Avenue and 138th Street. And no stops will be made on 39th Avenue and 138th Street, and Willets Point Boulevard and Parsons Boulevard. Wow, nice transition. I don't know if you saw that right there, but it didn't load out yet, but wow, nice transition. Anyway, the Q62 is fairly similar to the Utopia Q16. Also a rush route, no stops will be made between Northern Boulevard and Croxshuren Avenue. Did I say that right? Never mind. 162nd Street, except to stop on Northern Boulevard and 150th Street. The Q63 is a new route, replacing Q66 35th Avenue and 21st Street branch. We'll discuss Q66 in a couple of minutes. So, basically, it'll extend a little bit farther to the Queens Center Mall. The Q64 is discontinued. Use the Q10. Q65 discontinues north of 39th Avenue and Main Street, and service in College Point is replaced by the Q27. Also, reducing the amount of turns, it will continue on Sanford Avenue, then south on 162nd Street onto regular route, then heads east on Archer Avenue, and terminates at Farmers Boulevard and Liberty Avenue. This is to provide local service for the proposed Q83. The Q66 will continue west on Northern Boulevard, instead of heading west on 35th Avenue. This is to replace the proposed Q63. Then Q66 continues on, or that is replaced by the proposed Q63. Then Q66 continues on to Jackson Avenue and a new location to Jackson Avenue and a new location to Vernon Boulevard, Jackson Avenue 7 station. Here's a fun fact. We'll take a fun fact break. The first draft has the QT66 end at Woodside 51st Street, which is a short turn right now. It actually does happen for some trips, actually. The Q67 runs parts of the Q39 to Forest Avenue. also served Fresh Pond Road, which is the original Q67 last stop. The Q68, which will cross through the what's it called, Kosciuszko Bridge, and Williamsburg and Steinway. So it's portions of the Q101 and B24. So if it's gonna be LaGuardia, if MTA bus, and Grand Avenue if New York City Transit, um, that's gonna be cool seeing them. I hope Q68 service is frequent because I would love to see some buses cross through the Kosciuszko. So, we'll see that happen. The Q69 is going to continue down to that same place with Hunter's Point with the Q66. Now, this is the part that if we keep going, this is the place where I put low effort because I wanted to get that done. So, no stops in between on 21st Street between Broadway and 41st Avenue. Doesn't serve Long Island City Queens Plaza anymore. So the Q70 LaGuardia link remains the same. Q72 terminates at the Woodhaven Boulevard MR station instead of 63rd Drive Rego Park. I guess like the Q59 and the Q72 they swap places, I think. The Q73, which is the southern part of the Q23, and a little bit of the Q64, and then a portion of the Q88. Wait. The Q75, I didn't put any effort in this one, but it's gonna be the Q17, and the Q30 with Queens Community College. So no stops are made on Hillside Avenue between 188th Street and 179th Street, I believe that's it, or 180th, whatever, same thing. Um, Instead of going on 14th Avenue, Cross Island Parkway, and Parsons Boulevard, it will go on Willets Point Boulevard, Clintonville Street, and 20th Avenue. Discontinued segment is replaced by the proposed Q31. Q77 also has a rush section like the Q2 and the Q45. Stops on Hillside Avenue, 169th, 179th, and Francis Lewis. Ends at Springfield Boulevard and 135th Avenue. Discontinued segment is replaced by the proposed Q78. The Q78 operates between Farmers Boulevard and Rockaway Boulevard and 23rd Avenue and Bell Boulevard. This will most likely be a Queens Village route. The Q80, yes, it's this route. Then we'll replace the Q29. Southern portion of the Q29, 80th Street Q47, and a new connection to Queens Center. Most likely be LaGuardia Depot. Q82 is a new route, a combination of the Q36 and Q110. Most likely Baisley Park or Queens Village. Q83 terminates at Jamaica Center for service to Jamaica Parsons Hillside and Liberty Avenue Local. Use the Q65. And Q83 between Farmers Boulevard and Jamaica Center. Stops will be made on Merrick Boulevard and Liberty Avenue. The Q84 maintains its same routing. However, the Q84 local on Archer Avenue will discontinue. So, no stops are made on Merrick Boulevard between Tuskegee Airmen Road and 120th Avenue. A stop is made on Linden Boulevard, however. Q85. No stops will be made on Merrick Boulevard between Tuskegee Airmen Drive and 120th Avenue. Is made on Linden Boulevard. Always goes to Queen Acres, never to. Why did I say Queen? Green Acres. Never goes to Rosedale, replaced by proposed Q5. Q86 is a new and rush route. Stop. No stops are made on Merrick Boulevard between Tuskegee Airmen Road and 120th Avenue. Stop is made on Linden Boulevard. So never goes to Rosedale. It's just basically the Q5. Okay, just basically compare it like that. No changes except for stop removals. The Q88 will instead continue east on Horace Harding Expressway to make up for the loss of the Q30. Does not serve Queens Community College, however, and for service on to Queens Village LIRR, use the Q26 and Q73. The Q98 could possibly be a select bus since Fresh Pond is getting 2022 to 23 XC40s. They could possibly wrap them. This is a faster version of the Q58, serves College Point Boulevard and Long Island Expressway, and doesn't leave the highway until exit 19, which I don't know how that's going to work. So the Q100, Q101, Q102, and Q103 are discontinued. When I saw this, I was so surprised. So for the Q100, use proposed Q69, Q105, and B62. For Q101, use Q32, Q60, and Q68. I don't know why they would take that out because it's literally a midtown route. A lot of people depend on it. Q102, use proposed Q39, Q104, and Q105. Q103, use proposed Q39 and Q69. Extends to Roosevelt Island to make up for the loss of Q102. Now, there's a discontinued area, but again, that's a layover area, so that doesn't count as discontinued. That's a layover area. Who cares? Nobody cares. Q105, I didn't put much detail in it, but it's a new route. Basically, it's the Q100 and Q102 combined. It'll go down 31st Street. Newly proposed stops under the 31st Street N and W are subject to change in collaboration with the New York City Department of Transportation based on feasibility and accessibility. Now, I don't know what this means, but I'm going to try to get through it, but I think stops that are going to be in place under the N and W on 31st Street, they may change because wherever they're building it is probably not a good idea, not a good area to place it. I think that's what they mean. I'm not sure though. The Q109 is a new route, as I said. It's gonna be Jamaica Parsons Archer. Wait, no, not Jamaica. No, sorry, Jamaica Hillside Parsons or Parsons Hillside, whatever. Serve the western side of Q7, then 109th Avenue for the Q41, and then basically Tuskegee Airmen Drive. The Q110 and Q are going to be discontinued. And yeah, basically Q57 and Q82. Q111 remains the same. No stops are made on Brewer Boulevard between Farmers Boulevard and Liberty Avenue, which is a pretty big step. I didn't know they were going to do this. Also, no stop. I don't think their Cedarhurst extension is going to happen. Most likely not. The Q112 is discontinued. Service is replaced by the proposed Q57. Q113 Limited is discontinued. Service is replaced by the Q22, Q111, and Q114. Actually, no, I'm not gonna say anything for that. Q114 discontinued segment on Rockaway Turnpike and Mott Avenue is going to be discontinued. Also, the section when it operates during late nights on Brewer Boulevard and Archer Avenue on its local area, it's going to be discontinued as well. It's going to go through. Wait, give me a moment. It's so the Q111 is still going to go through not the Vaccination York College area. Q115 is a new route up makes stops. I don't know what the stops are, but it's gonna go on Jamaica Parsons Hillside, and then Farmers Boulevard, where the Q111 is. So basically another Q111, but the Q111 in the future is not gonna make any stops here. So B53 is gonna operate between East New York, Broadway Junction, and Sunnyside. So any changes here is gonna be discussed in the Brooklyn Bus Network redesign draft plan. So basically B24, B32. I don't know if B32 is gonna be a thing. Also Q24 and all that. So B57 is discontinuing its IKEA Red Hook branch. So I'm glad I went to IKEA the other day. Not the other day, it was 2 months ago actually. Got some footage of that because I'll probably never go there again. But we got that, and then it's not gonna serve its Navy Yard Park Avenue section, I believe. Also, it's extending to the 74th, 82nd Street Jackson Heights station. I guess Jackson Heights. It's gonna go on 69th Street and that. I guess its discontinued section for the Q47 is replaced by that. QB62, a few segments are discontinued in Williamsburg and in downtown Brooklyn Navy Yard. So, extends to Astoria and no longer serves Long Island City Queens Plaza. Alright, let's move on. Let's go to the express routes. I know you guys wanted transitions, but I didn't. I decided I didn't have time. So, ignore this. So here is the proposed express map. So most of it stays the same, except for a few changes. I don't know. Actually, no. A few changes along QM2, QM5, QM8, QM35, QM32, QM10. Well, actually, we'll talk about that in a bit. So first, all Queens-bound trips will run on the Queens Midtown Expressway. So you guys know how the QM15, QM16, they go down Van Dam Street and Long Island Expressway. So QM1 buses, QM5, QM2, QM3, they're no longer to go on Northern Boulevard and Queens Boulevard. Instead, go on Van Wyck and Long Island Expressway. So all Midtown routes, QM 1 to 2, 4 to 6, 12, 5, 15 to 18, 20, 24, 31 to 32, 34 to 36, 40, and 42 are not affected. Now, you may have heard I missed some of them, so let's go over those. QM 3, 10, and 40 are discontinued. I guess Leafrick City is bye. And also Little Neck, it literally, like, QM3 only has like 6 trips a day, 3 trips each direction, so I guess it's not needed. X63, X64, and X68 are renumbered to QM63, QM64, and QM68. I guess not for the confusion. That remains Brooklyn with the last 4 X routes. The new route, QM65, will most likely go to Baisley Park or Queens Village. I think it's going to be Queens Village since Baisley Park's only getting 8 units, which probably isn't enough. QM64 is extended to Nassau or Elmont Road and Dutch Broadway, not QM4 area. Not QM4, Q4. X63, X64, and X68 will run by QM21 to 23rd Street instead of running on 3rd Avenue and back down on Madison Avenue. So QM5, QM8, and QM35 buses will no longer serve Union Turnpike. They will be run by the QM8 Super Express. If you guys know the QM8 Super Express, it goes here, goes down here, and like that. So both directions it serves. I just literally exposed, but you guys know I made 113 116 slides. So it basically goes down here in both directions. No longer serves um, Union Turnpike, except for its last stop here. Goodbye, QM8 Super Express. So, QM11, 12, and 42 routings are changed in Queens to make up for the loss of QM10 service, 10 and 40. So, this is, I know it says only QM10, QM11, but it's both QM11, 12, and 42. I couldn't combine them all into one map, so, uh, QM12 is also cut short. 12 and 42 no longer goes to Union Turnpike. It's just cut short here on Yellowstone Boulevard. And QM2 routing is discontinued, and during weekends, weekend routing is discontinued. So this is the weekend routing. It's discontinued. And also this part for the QM2 and QM32 is discontinued. Alright, the end. Thank you so much for joining. If we missed anything, we definitely missed something. Please let us know in the comments. And this will obviously be able for replay if you guys want to rewatch this all over again. Thanks so much for watching. Obviously, we missed something. We missed something in the intro and all that. But thanks so much for joining us. We appreciate it. Thanks for spending your time. I thought this was gonna go over an hour. But yeah, 100 and how many slides is this? 116. There you have it right there. 116 slides. Alright, guys. Goodbye. Bye.